Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to this latest episode of Depression Help. So this is, I think, part 5 of the one on suicide. Sounded a bit like a Friends episode there. Same journey, journey home now, same day. Hope you're doing okay, if not good or better. Hopefully you can remember roughly what I talked about in the other episodes. Just talking about why, or the fact that suicidal thinking is a feature of depression, common feature of depression, but still something always to be taken seriously, and talking about the difference between suicidal ideation and intent, and talking about my different experiences with those, and talking about the collateral damage for family and friends when somebody does commit suicide even, and just things like that. So hopefully some of that's helpful. Not easy to talk about, as you saw from me getting upset, and not nice to think about the fact that there are times when you haven't wanted to be here, and yeah, let's just leave that one there. So as I said in the last episode, I thought it'd be good to talk about maybe just strategy for trying to avoid or preparing. Big believer in hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Not in a pessimistic way. If anything, I'm too optimistic sometimes. But I think that it makes sense to, if you do struggle at times, and maybe if you have felt suicidal before, maybe worth just spending a little bit of time just preparing for what hopefully won't happen again, but what could happen again. And I'm going to do this as well, not because I think that I would ever get to where I was again. I can't think of anything else. I never really struggled that badly with living in the real world, and just regular things that people have to endure in life. I just think a very special environment and special situation, and yeah, just not something I think that I'd be likely to struggle with. Never really struggled that badly with anything in the real world before, or even been off sick before. So yeah, so still going to do it though, because I just said, best to prepare and not need it. So I think that it's probably a good idea. Again, I probably talk about making notes on your phone. Do that all the time. Use it for everything, even just shopping. It's really handy if you remember something. You've probably got your phone on you. Make your shopping list on your phone. Whatever. You can use it to help yourself in lots of ways. You can use it for journaling. Notepad on my phone. Totally use it all the time for loads of stuff. So I think it'd probably be a good idea to make a list somewhere, preferably on your phone if you've got it with you all the time. Just, you can call it whatever you want, but you could call it Reasons to Live, or you could call it It Ain't That Bad, or whatever. Just something that you can find definitely easily from searching it. And do you know what? I think it's actually probably a good idea when you're in a good place to make a list of all the reasons for being here. I think that there certainly isn't going to be any harm to doing that, and probably it'll actually make you feel good, and you never know, it might just save your life. So I'm going to do this because I'm suggesting that you do it, and yeah, even when you think you're never going to need someone, always good to be prepared. I really don't think I would need somebody locally that I would go to if I ever got that bad again, but I've got someone just in case, so really don't think I'll need them. But yeah, always be smart. Always be smart. So I think in terms of your list, that's really up to you, but I'm kind of thinking along the lines of, on mine, writing things that I'm grateful for. So my family who love me, lots of friends, my dogs, the fact that I've managed to come back from nothing, the fact that I'm gifted, whatever, just things that are positive in my life, preferably things that are kind of unchangeable, if you like. So if you wrote got lots of money, that might not be helpful if for some reason you don't have lots of money, and it's not really going to help you when you go back to read it. So maybe more along the lines of achievements, maybe times when you've triumphed over adversity, maybe, like degree, I earned a degree, that was hard for me. That's something no one can take away. That's something I did. That was a very proud moment in my life. And yeah, it was really hard. So things that are going to be valid whenever you read them, I guess, would be a good idea. Yeah, just write down lots of positive things for your life. And I think probably some positive things that maybe happened, things that you've achieved. Probably a good idea as well to write down the names of people who you know really care about you, who really care about you, and that could be hopefully some of your family, if you have family, your friends, and that might help you identify somebody that you could talk to say, look, if I'm ever in a crisis, a real crisis, could I call on you? Would you help me? And here's how I would like you to help me, which would be by getting to you quite quickly, and or calling help for you, or getting to you and calling help, or taking you to get help, or whatever the case may be. I think that's a good idea, is when you're in a positive mindset, when you're thinking, oh yeah, no, life's good, yeah, oh yeah, I'm really happy for that, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. Good time to think about what's good, what you've achieved, what nobody can take away from you. There's things obviously in your life that can be good at times and then not so good at other times. So just try and pick things that it's always going to be true, that's something you can be proud of, something that it's always going to be true that you can be grateful for that, something that you can always be happy about, not something that could kind of come and go, because if you put something in your list that could be good or bad at that point in time, it's not going to make you feel better if you read something that's gone bad. So that's some ideas, just good things that have happened in your life, people that you really who really care about you. Also, I think it might be a good idea to just to write about things that you've come through before. Maybe even just triumphs over things that have gone wrong. So think about when things have gone wrong in your life, you're in a bad situation, didn't look good, and you managed to get through it. And think about things you've overcome, and some things that will always be true, that you overcame that thing. And that's going to help you realize that you have resilience, that you've achieved things before, and hopefully it's going to make you feel like you can achieve things again. Might be worth as well writing on your list things that you still want to achieve in your life, things that you have in mind that you would like to do. So maybe that is you've never been to New York City, or maybe that is you've never jumped out of a plane, or maybe that is you've always fancied owning your own business. Maybe it's a lot of different things. So might be worth thinking about some things like that. Also might be worth writing in general things that you have to look forward to, and just basically as much positive stuff as you can think of. And it might even be worth writing something to yourself, like a couple of sentences or whatever, just saying you can't trust your feelings right now, don't think about it, just ask for help, or don't think about it, just contact such and such, don't think about it, just text a red flag to such and such. Just something that you've written in a good place. You've just read all those things that are positive, and then you've just read yourself writing to yourself saying, do this, and don't know, it might just save your life. Maybe even have some numbers of people you can call, maybe like the number of the Samaritans or whatever. Maybe just have lots of options there of things you can do, because you might find it difficult to choose, or you might not feel like contacting one option. Maybe not too many options, because you don't want to get into analysis paralysis. But basically, have a route there of what you should do. And I think that possibly that could be helpful. And the reason I think that is when I got to where I did, to the point of thinking about how, and then once I got better, I did sort of think of, that wasn't rational thinking, that would have been a huge mistake. If I did have the capacity to regret that, I definitely would have. Even just from the point of view of what it would have done to people who care about me, so yeah, if you realize that sometimes you can be in a mindset where you're not really accurately assessing things, or you're kind of in a downward spiral, or you're kind of self-destructing or whatever, I think it would be a good idea to have something there to reflect on. And that is something that came out of where I was just thinking about, is there any, what could I do to prevent that. And as I've said before, one of the things was identifying someone who would be my go-to person if I ever felt like that again. And maybe if I'd done that, I might have sort of spoken to somebody sooner. It's also the only time in my life I've had pretty poor care from the NHS, sadly, from the GP surgery. Not a local one to where I am now, but that really didn't help. And I'm fortunate that my parents were willing and able to pay for me to speak to somebody who could help, to speak to a psychiatrist quite quickly. And yeah, but I've spoken to other people about this before. I've always kind of, since I was young, had people come to talk to me about stuff, and I've spoken to people before who have been in a situation where they've maybe been encouraged to go to hospital, or go into hospital, and they've been reluctant. And I just think if that is where you are, then yeah, I would have done it if I had to. So if that had, if I hadn't felt as though I was okay at my parents, then I wouldn't have had a problem with doing that. And yeah, so I don't think you should either, if that's the way that you feel. If you need to do that, then do that. Pride's a big thing. I think pride's a big problem when it comes to mental illness, and self-pride, also parental pride when we're young. I think that parents always want to be proud of their kids, and I think that pride can easily, if we're not careful, come in the way of actually getting to the bottom of what's going wrong if our kids are struggling. Not that I have any kids, but everyone wants to be like, oh, this is my such and such, and they just won this gold medal, and blah blah blah. And I guess it's difficult to try and make the uncomfortable decisions at times to say, well, maybe this is not quite right, or rather than explaining things away, actually get an expert to do a consult and see what they think. If it's just growing pains or if there is actually something up there that could be treated. So yeah, anyway, just a few thoughts about what might be a good idea. I'm going to do it. Really don't think I'll need it. I'm going to do it, and I hope you will too, if that's the way that you felt before. Whether you've had intent or just ideation, I hope that you'll do that as well. And you never know, just there might be that time where you need to pull it out and read it, and maybe that'll just be something that will help you to make the right decision to look after yourself, or to let other people look after you if that's what you need. And again, that's totally okay. And yeah, it'd be so awesome to be able to fast forward 10, 20 years in the future or something to see how things are then. I'm sure they'll be a lot better than they are now, but they are improving, so that's good. And just got to be positive about it and think that maybe there's some way you could be part of helping to improve things. That's a positive way of looking at it, and that's the way I try to look at it. So thanks for watching, and I'm glad that's the end of that. To be honest, it wasn't easy, and I will see you in the next episode, and I will make sure the next episode is a short and light topic, or lighter topic. Take care, bye.